Now back in Lagos, it's time for Trending Now, and Olamide is standing by to tell us everything trending from all around the world. Good morning, beautiful. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are we doing, team? I already know how you're doing because I saw you a few minutes ago. But I have to say, this morning show entirely is trending. They're all very timely conversations. But shall we take a look at social media?
Take it away.
Good morning, Nigeria. I like to say that TVC has a finger on the pulse and an eye on the streets. And here on the Trending Now segment, we do our best to bring you trending stories that are shaping the world that you and I live in. We begin today with some scandal, unfortunately, where a viral video is sparking a lot of outrage and discussion after a woman was caught sitting the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria exam on behalf, allegedly, of Taraba State's Commissioner for Finance, Sarah Enoch Addy. Now, in the footage that's going viral on social media, supervisors confronted the suspect, who identified herself as Leave It Felix, but confirmed that she was writing the test for the commissioner. Records have now also tied her to Addy's exam details. Another man, identified only as K, was also nabbed for allegedly impersonating a bank manager for the same exam. The female proxy, Leave It Felix, claimed that she didn't personally know the commissioner and insisted that a middleman, identified only as Joshua, hired her for this job. Of course, reacting to the scandal, ICANN has now reaffirmed its zero-tolerance policy on malpractice and stressed that its exams are built on global integrity standards and violations will attract tough sanctions. But the big question now is, if public officials are allegedly outsourcing professional exams, what does that say about the integrity of the offices they hold? I mean, an ICANN exam is very basic. If a commissioner for finance allegedly cannot sit that exam, I worry about our systems in place. Let's take a look at what you had to say on social media. I'll take two tweets. Filippo Saga says, the Commissioner of Finance is not qualified for that position, and yet we wonder why the country is not moving forward. So many round pegs in square holes in key positions in this country. So sad. And Becca Nenzar says, the funny thing now is that the writer will face punishment, but the person she's writing for will probably still keep her job and even move on to bigger things. Team, I'm going to come to you now. This I think it's a Nigerian thing, unfortunately. This constantly outsourcing of things like exams, outsourcing of things like work, outsourcing of things like the completion of a contract. I worry that it's inherently a Nigerian problem.
It's just an effect of the lowering of standards that has become a recurring decimal in Nigeria. It's really unfortunate. First things first, Sarah Enoch should be suspended from her position as Commissioner for Finance because it is a slap on the face of Taraba State as a whole, not to talk of the government and the governor that appointed her Commissioner for Finance. When she is suspended and has no government apparatus around her, she can't influence investigations, and this should be investigated to the latter. The woman that sat with the exams for her committed a crime. The agents that employed her to do the job also committed a crime. All three of them are culpable, and we should be hearing updates about their punishment and so on in later publications.
And for me, this is so sad because I look at it that if she cannot write, Olamide, you said an ICANN exam, then there's a big problem. Then what are you doing in that office? I feel like sometimes when we get to education, we always think we can buy anything, but you cannot buy education. You get the results, but in your brain, you do not know anything. So I feel like there's so many things we need to work on. This story, I really hope that we get to follow it through thin and we get to find out what really happened. Olamide, I'm sure you will do a follow-up with this story because all these people definitely need to be put to book. You cannot let somebody write an exam for you and then you are occupying a position where you're supposed to lead. Who do you want to lead then?
The person wants to lead people that are better than they are. It's just unfortunate that people who appoint this, these crops of individuals into offices, they are not doing their due diligence, and then it actually questions their own character, their own integrity, and their own qualifications as well. So we need to do our due diligence, whether it's a federal appointment, it's a local appointment, even if it's an organization, appointment or positions that you're putting someone, to occupy. So these are the problems that we're facing in this country. That's why in the National Assembly, you find some people just sitting there sleeping. Even if they are not sleeping, they are not making any meaningful contributions whatsoever to the discourse on the floor of the National Assembly. So we need to do so well. We need to to whom much is given, actually, much is expected.
Absolutely. A commissioner of finance, handling the flow of cash in a state
Lies.
and is proving to be untrustworthy allegedly. It's a shame. I'll move on. Now, the Lagos state government has now confirmed plans to relocate the iconic computer village in Ikeja, Africa's largest tech hub, to Katangoa, Abule-Egba. Officials argue that the move is long overdue, and they're saying that the current Ikeja site is zoned for residential use. At the new Katangoa ICT market, the state promises modern facilities, from banks and warehouses to schools, clinics, and worship centers, all designed to give the tech cluster a more organized face. But online, the backlash is loud. Many Lagosians are now asking why such an established hub, which serves millions and drives a major part of Nigeria's tech economy, should be uprooted. The idea of relocation isn't new, however. It was floated back in 2017 at first. But this week's stakeholder meeting marks a real step forward to making this happen. Now, according to Mr. Ballon, the permanent secretary at the Office of Urban Development, the process will be inclusive and transparent, in line with Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's directive. But still, the bigger question remains, can the government successfully recreate not just the market, but the culture, the innovation, and the accessibility that made Computer Village what it is today? Computer Village in Ikeja is Africa's largest tech hub, like I said earlier on. But they're saying that now this is going to reduce a lot of congestion. It's going to open up new ways, and it's going to really develop Katangoa. We'll see how it goes. But once again, unfortunately, this is a commercial IDP. Lots of people are going to be displaced. And some are arguing that it's modern gentrification. But let's take a look at social media. I will take 2 tweets on this. Daniel Rega says, Ikeja Computer Village is one of the most popular places in Lagos. It's practically a landmark. Converting that space to residential area is wrong. Again, the Lagos state government is doing very little to address pressing issues, but instead making decisions that's frustrating the masses. Interesting. Team, we're seeing that Ikeja Computer Village, rather, is a very, very integral part of the local economy of the mainland. I mean, when you think about buying anything tech or any service provider technologically related, you think of Ikeja Computer Village. The question now is if this transition can be seamless without displacing too many traders, while freeing up congestion and creating new hubs in Katangoa, Abule-Egba.
Village should be removed from that place. Yes, I support it, because that market is actually larger than the space. And so we see, at times I go to that place and I wonder, are you sure everybody here is a human being or the other? Because there are so many people. That place is so congested. Yeah. Moving it to another location, Katangoa, it's a welcome development for me. But then, as you said, it is the people that will be displaced that we should think of, because obviously a whole lot of people that are doing business in Computer Village right now won't have a space there.
And talking about this, Olamide, I love gadgets a lot. So Computer Village is like my second home. I always go there a lot. But like Thomas said, it's really congested. I would be honest, you go there sometimes and you're even trying to pass by people. Like, people are close. I always say it's like sardine. Everybody is clustered inside. So I think that it's a welcome innovation, to move them somewhere else. But I was speaking to one of my people that I buy, things from, and he said the only problem they have with Katangoa is because Katangoa is too far. That's the only problem they have there. That they are willing to move, but Katangoa is far. If they can give them somewhere else, that's what he had said. But this is a welcome development. I just hope that they can do it seamlessly, and they can do it better, not in a way that people will not get to suffer. Absolutely. I know that they have said this before, but I think they really need to say more, because some people there have not even heard about it. I tell you what, some people there do not even know that it's really going to happen. They just think it's one of those things that government is saying. So I think they need to do a lot on that. But the place is overcrowded. If they can take them to a better place, it's not a bad idea. And
I think the government actually knows a better place. So people who claim that the place is too far are actually looking at it from their own point, maybe where they stay, to that place. So I tell you, Ikeja is far from anywhere, because there are some people that actually come from Ibadan, Onitsha, Enugu, etc., even to outside of the country to buy things in Ikeja. It's so clustered, and we need space. We need something that looks more like a Silicon Valley, because that's where we have our own Silicon Valley. Yeah. And what comes after in Africa is Kenya, Silicon Savannah. So if they are taking them to Katangoa, it is better because they have more space. It looks more modern. And then I know I have friends who sell there, but I also know that there is crimes and criminality is there too. That where you go, you want to buy a phone. At the end of the day, you see the phone, you press it, you give them the money. By the time you turn your back, and then probably you get onto the bus or whatever, you now see that the phone that is sold to you is the case and then fufu or whatever that you find inside. So people will start crying. And, so much crimes going on there. So what we have is civilized space for these people, and then it looks so good, then it will be better. So it's not the people, but it's the kind of business that goes on there that really matters. So let's take it to Katangwa as a government.
And Olamide, 1 minute quickly to just Ibrahim. A lot of them were also saying that they hope that it's not false promises, that you say they're going to Katangwa, they've not seen anything yet. So those are some of the conversations as well.
Absolutely, thank you so much. Urban planning is not just about the infrastructure, but the welfare of the people that exist within that infrastructure. Thank you so much, team. Moving on in some entertainment news, in January 2022, a man called Ekuma Jeremiah, a Lagos traffic hawker, went viral after being filmed handing out cash to inmates inside a Nigerian correctional service bus in Aja. Well, his act of kindness drew nationwide admiration, and it caught the attention of businessman and philanthropist Obi Nayegbu, widely known as Obi Cubana. Rather than simply offering him money on the spot, Obi Cubana encouraged this young man to pursue education and took responsibility for financing his academic journey. The young man accepted that guidance, and he turned down immediate financial comfort in favor of long-term investment in himself. And 3 years later, that decision has now paid off. Jeremiah has now graduated with a law degree from Ebonyi State University. And for Obi Cubana, it's a proud moment, and I think that this is proof that mentorship and support, if they're combined with discipline, can really transform lives. This young man has now graduated. His life has taken a drastic turn. I'm going to take 2 tweets on this. The Forex scribe says, the Lord has a way of rewarding you. If you are faithful, with little help will reward you. Where you are is enough to start doing something. He didn't wait to be big enough. Never stop complaining and be of help to the needy. Very interesting. I'm going to move right on now to the Ballon d'Or. The glittering Ballon d'Or ceremony in Paris was filled with surprises and a lot of Nigerian pride. One moment was where Super Falcons goalkeeper Chiamaka Nnadozie earned global recognition after being ranked the fourth best goalkeeper in the world. It's another milestone for the young woman who first turned heads at the 2023 Women's World Cup, where she powered Nigeria to victory over Australia. But Nnadozie wasn't the only African that made history that night. The event wasn't just about football. Nigerian music also had its moment in Paris. So we saw Adekunle go there, and Rema took the stage in his performances, and a lot of people were excited about that, especially Nigerians. In another light-hearted moment, the England women's team manager, Serena Wigman, admitted that she wished Burna Boy had been there to round out the star power. Take a look at this short clip.
Every other girl they do too much, but this girl mellow. See now in my fine situation, I go use they say I'm mellow. Finally I find way to talk to the girl, but she don't know who you gonna phone for. But you know I go for one, and I start to feel a bum one. But she did give me small one. I know, so she start me passing down one. But she killing me, see go on. Cause her friends go they come and like she go on. Go they come and like she go on. Oh yeah, baby.
Nigeria is not calming down anytime soon on the global stage. Team, this is so funny, but I'll tell you what, there's nothing I love more than seeing an Oyinbo singing a song in Pidgin.
Oh yes. It just goes to show that that gap that used to exist has shrunken to nothingness. It's a proud moment when you see Nigerians in big stages like the Ballon d'Or. Congratulations to the Nigerian goalkeeper, 4th best in the world. That is fantastic, and also the winner for the male category of the Ballon d'Or, Dembele, is also a black man. So, congrats.
Congratulations to all of them. But quickly, I want to talk about Obi Cubana and that, the boy, because sometimes, we see so many things online, and it just shows that if you do good, you will be rewarded. See what the guy did. He didn't have much, but he had the compassion to give out, and look at who he is today. So I just want to say, a big thank you to Obi Cubana. You do a great job. He's a talk and do. He doesn't just talk, he gets to do it. And to see that this young guy has graduated, thank you so much. This is amazing.
Sometimes a little act of kindness that we do really goes a long way, because sometimes we just do it out of, being a human. So being human is one thing. Another thing is for you to be able to do what is right, where when you're doing it, you're not doing it for people to see. You're just doing it out of your own heart. And then someone spotted him. God sends Obi Cubana to this guy, and then he's able to help him. He didn't look for riches. That day, he actually delayed it. Now we hope that the guy gets to, the apogee, the zenith, of his life. And we say congratulations to what you've done, and we'll say thank you on behalf of this guy to Obi Cubana. Well done. You've done right.
Absolutely. Great team. Thank you so much for your input.